Hello again and thank you for joining me for ClemFM. Lovers of quality rather than quantity will be equally as pleased as lovers of quantity over quality, as this episode happens to contain very little of either. This installment is called Teaching My Ignorant Dog and Cat About Sex. Gnome! Hambone! Knock it off, would ya? I know you dogs and cats are mortal enemies, and Lord knows I've done my part in exacerbating tensions in the mythic rivalry between your warring species. But can't you two clowns just settle for 1 second? I've got some really important stuff I want to teach you, which I think you'll find both educational and enlightening. Here's a hint. It's about fucking. It's clear to me that you guys are nerds who haven't even made it to first base yet. You're like two innocent little potsies, all wide-eyed and untainted. But never fear, because I've got a wealth of knowledge with which to taint you. Believe me, I've gotten laid a fair few times. It was before you two came into my life and made it a living, celibate hell. A lot of animals out there haven't had the proper education when it comes to sex, which is obvious from all of the stupid YouTube videos of idiot dogs humping each other's heads. That's not how it's done, boys. I've tried. So I thought I'd give you a few pointers so that you don't end up embarrassing yourselves any more than you already do on a daily basis. It hasn't escaped me that none of us are the same species. Gnome, you're a peculiarly timid dog usually found lurking in living room doorways, waiting to be invited in like a vampire with even more arbitrary rule restrictions than usual. Hambone, like any good cat, you're a goddamn piece of shit at the best of times. And I'm just the simple human man who is keeping you both alive so that he can endure all of your bullshit, day in, day out. Thankfully though, sexual functions are pretty much the same for all three of us, and for most animals in general. Except octopuses, maybe. I don't really know how they do it, but I imagine they'd be quite different in the sack. Quite different, indeed. You have to understand that most pet owners are utter sadists. When they're not snipping the dicks off and vaginas out of their pets, with detachment if not extreme prejudice, they're sticking sharp needles in them, and implanting microchips in their heads. Not me, though. I'd rather see you boys become utter whores, rather than dickless, disease-free cyborgs. It's a no-brainer for me. The thing that irks me most about the people who are taking away your genitalia is that they aren't even the ones doing it, instead paying accredited mutilators to do it for them. If I wanted your balls gone, I'd have the meat cleaver at the ready. I'd probably dock your tails too, both for tidiness and to make you both look more like little bears. Whenever I'd come home and see you lounging on the couch, I'd drop everything and shout, "House bears, house bears," then chase you around the room, my hands out in front of me mimicking a sort of opening and closing bear trap that will snag your little bodies, then bestow hugs upon them. Now, onto boning 101. The key with sex is, start off gentle. This is particularly true for animals with barbed penises. Hambone, take heed. I don't want to see you railing some poor cat with that horrific thing. Let me talk a bit about sex positions. Doggy style is generally acknowledged as the missionary position of the animal kingdom. But my advice is to spice things up and try other stuff. Like missionary, for instance. I never see you guys do that one. We all know that both of you can lick your own privates, but what about being less selfish and licking your lady's genitals for once? She may just be thankful and reciprocate. Or you and her could both go to town on yourselves and watch each other whilst doing so, which is maybe a turn-on for you guys. I honestly don't know what you're into. Going out on dates is a key part of human courtship, so I don't see why animals shouldn't have to endure them too. Try taking your sweetheart for a night out on the town. There probably aren't a hell of a lot of places you could go, but maybe try an alleyway behind a restaurant among rotting garbage and puddles of urine. If you're lucky, an insane kitchen hand on their smoke break will let you in the back way for a romantic spaghetti dinner. Not likely to happen, but what else are you going to do? Go to the movies, then to an ice cream parlor? Don't make me laugh. Don't be afraid to be vocal during sex, unless it's late at night. Some of us have jobs. When it comes to sex, animals are all fairly lame. You just look so clumsy thrusting your hips in that really pathetic, expressionless way. My advice is, just be cool and chill out. It isn't a race, unless specifically stated. I'm telling you this so that when someone catches you fucking in their backyard, it is they who will be embarrassed, not you. You'll be able to look them straight in the eye, until they break eye contact and you continue getting it on. Guys, fellas, boys, we're all men here. Males, dudes, humans. No, wait, gender is what I was on about. Gents. Be a gentleman when with a lady. If you come across a puddle, lay down in it so that she can cross without getting her paws wet. But be sure to offer her the puddle first, as it could be a really good puddle that she'd like to roll around in a bit. You'll have to judge this on a puddle-by-puddle basis. You guys really need to support each other in this venture. You're brothers, but more sacredly, you're wingmen now. It's your responsibility to line up chicks for each other. Don't let each other down, and never, ever steal one another's girl. This should be easy for you, as I'm sure neither of you want to fuck members of the other species. But if by chance you're going to break the laws of nature, just make sure you don't break the wingman code. That is much more important to uphold. Gnome, buddy, I know this is pretty arousing subject matter, but if you'd care to stop scooting your ass across the carpet like a research vessel fording bravely through the Antarctic ice, I sure would appreciate it. Stop copying him, Hambone. Both of you will need to act a little more manly if you want to stand out from the crowd. First, we need to work on your handshakes. I'm sorry, but neither of you can shake for shit. You're both far too limp-wristed and weak, which makes me feel really uncomfortable. Remember, be firm. The aim of a handshake is to break the other person's hand/paw. One day you might meet a nice girl that you're not really all that into but still want to sleep with. This is an animalistic urge that is frankly barbaric. Do it if you really want, but us humans would never stoop to such base urges, you pigs. Everyone has specific things that they're into in the bedroom. Hambone, you're probably into the rough stuff. And Gnome, I've got you pegged as the submissive type. But I love you boys, no matter how you like to fuck. As long as neither of you are into underage stuff, that's where I draw the line. I don't want to see you with anyone under the age of 18, which in dog and cat years is probably like 3. Gross. Sex was always taboo in my family. My parents would be doing it all over the house, at all hours, but whenever I asked them if they could maybe be a bit more discreet, they didn't want to talk about it. Their lack of regard for my wishes was almost as bad as you guys sometimes. Make sure you don't go knocking up any lassies, because if you do, I will be selling your young for profit, which you probably couldn't care less about anyway. A good way to prevent pregnancy is the withdrawal method. This is vastly superior to your usual idea of birth control where you get rid of any unwanted offspring by simply eating them. We live in a more civilized age than that, my boys, even if those pups and kittens do look tender and delicious. It's a tough world out there with the ladies. That's why I bought you these little suits and bow ties. If they don't attract any mates, maybe your debasement will garner some pitiless human females for my own companionship. You're both great and all, but goddamn, I'm lonely. The main thing I care about is your happiness, and because happiness is usually measured by how frequently one has sex, I feel like you guys better start boning soon or you'll be miserable, just like me. If you like this podcast, think about how much time it takes for me to write, record, edit, and upload it, and I think you'll find yourself liking it that little bit more than you previously did.